In this video, we'll show you how to make a one-page website in WordPress. The main difference between creating a single-page website and a standard website is how you handle navigation. In this tutorial, we'll walk through how to create a single-page website that includes a navigational menu at the top that takes the user to specific sections of the page when they select it from the primary menu. For example, if the user clicks Services, it will take them to the Services section of the page. Or, if they click Contact, they are taken to the Contact section of the page. This is what makes creating a one-page website unique, as you need to assign CSS IDs to each section of the page so that users can easily navigate to each specific part of your website. Regardless of whether you want to make a small business website, consulting or professional services website, freelance website, portfolio website, or any type of website for that matter, you are able to follow this WordPress tutorial and get building. The website that we'll create is SEO friendly, features an optimized UX design, is 100% mobile responsive, and includes an intuitive, beginner-friendly drag-and-drop page builder. So, if that sounds good, then let's get to it. We've created a step-by-step guide for this tutorial that you can follow along with for free on the OHKLYN website. The link will be in the description below and in the info card for this video. Here, you'll find the written instructions as well as any links mentioned in this video. We would recommend opening the post in a new tab and following along. For this tutorial, we'll use the Divi WordPress theme by Elegant Themes. You can access a discount by following the link in the description below, or if you're following along on the OHKLYN website, you can click this button here. For this tutorial, we'll show you how to create a one-page WordPress website using Bluehost as your hosting provider. With the link in the description below and on the OHKLYN post here, you'll get access to discount hosting plus a free domain name if you haven't purchased one already. Similarly, you'll be able to access more than 30 free layout packs that you can leverage on your website via an easy one-click import tool. To view some of the free layout packs available for use in this tutorial, on the OHKLYN post, follow this button here. You'll be able to use any of these layouts to help get your website put together quickly. In addition to that, with the Divi theme, you'll get access to over 20 hours of free video content that covers how to customize every inch of your website. So, regardless of how intricate your website design may be, you'll be provided with the tools to get it done. Okay, so before we get started, let's go through what you need to prepare. A big mistake beginners often make is forgetting to plan out what they want their website to look like before getting started. By taking a couple of moments up front to consider the user experience as well as brand and content design, you'll save yourself a bunch of time and produce a much better result. Let's start with a few things you'll need to make the process of creating your site a lot smoother. These are a must-have for any blog or website. They will be used throughout your site on every page and help all of your website look coherent throughout. Logo. Make sure that you have all the variations you need, like a horizontal and vertical version, dark and light version, as well as different sizes so that it fits perfectly wherever you use it. Favicon. This is the logo your website will display in the browser tab. It's usually square, but you can create the illusion of an irregular shape by using an image with a transparent background, like a .png. Brand color palette. A coherent design always starts with a brand color palette. This usually consists of a main color as well as a few complementary colors. Tools like Paleton.com, Adobe Color, or ColorHex.com can help you pick a color palette. A small budget of $100 to $150. This will fund the cost of your domain, hosting, premium WordPress theme, images if required. If you need to hire a designer to create some of your branding assets and help create your website, it may be up to $300. We have created an article that details the expenses you will face as you build your website or blog in this article on the OHKLYN blog. Firstly, let's take a look at website design. In this section, we'll provide an introduction to user experience or UX design. What makes the design of a one-page website unique is that you put all the information that would usually be on separate pages within a single home page. That means that it's crucial that you identify the most important information on each of those pages, as you will need to include everything in a single section. For this, take out a sheet of paper or open your favorite drawing tool and sketch out the sections you want to include on your one-page website. The most common include a header section, about section, contact section, portfolio section, services section, and a blog section. You might have more or less, depending on exactly what type of site you have, but make sure you draw it all out. Next, for each section, create a rough guide for what will be on the page in terms of text, images, videos, and other elements such as counters, bars, testimonial sliders, etc. Will there be a sidebar? If so, on what side, and what will be included within the sidebar? From a user experience perspective, you should think about the most important action that you want the users to take on that page and make sure it's both above the fold, meaning it's visible when the page first loads, and it's obvious and or repeated in a way that makes it easy for the user to engage. For example, for a one-page website, you would have your call to action in your header, as well as repeated every few sections down the page. Similarly, use buttons and your brand colors to draw the user's attention to important pieces of content. If your goal is to sell services, you could have a call to action or CTA button that says something like "Our services." Or, if it's meant to be a portfolio, it could be a button that says "View work." You also need to consider how users will consume your content. Typically, content will be consumed from top to bottom and from left to right. If your target market consumes content differently, make sure you've considered this. Does the flow of information you're presenting make sense? Does it logically take them through a process or tell a story? Because it should. Also, use some of the free layout demos that come with the Divi theme for some inspiration. Then, go through the layouts and see if there's a certain layout that resonates with you. If you haven't already, the first step is to register your domain, set up your website hosting account, and install WordPress for your website. Before we go ahead, let's go over some important concepts. Your domain, or URL, is the web address for your website, and is what users will type into their browsers to access your site. For OHKLYN, it's OHKLYN.com. Pick something that works for you. Hosting is what allows your website to be accessible to users 24/7. It's the process of storing the content and data for your website on a web server and serving it to users. For this tutorial, we'll walk you through getting started with Bluehost, as we believe it's the best option for beginners. So, let's go through the steps for setting up hosting for your blog and registering your free domain with Bluehost. Here is a list of the types of domains that are included for free, the most common being a .com or .co. If you've already purchased your domain, or if you want to purchase an alternative top-level domain, such as something relevant to your niche, or a country-specific domain like .co.uk or .com.au, you can purchase that domain through a registrar like GoDaddy, Crazy Domains, or any other domain registrar. We'll add some links below. If you go with that option, or if you've already secured your domain name, all you need to do is then change what is called the domain name service to point at Bluehost. which will be your new hosting provider. Fortunately, we've written an article and a step-by-step guide on how to do this, which you can access here. To get started, follow the Bluehost link in the description below, or if you're on the OHKLYN website, follow this button here. We'll then click on Get Started Now. You'll then select the plan that's right for you. If you intend to have just the one domain, then the first option will be fine. Alternatively, if you want to have multiple domains on the one hosting account like we do, then you'll need to select one of the other plans. You can always amend this down the track. The great thing about Bluehost is that you get a 30-day money-back guarantee on any plan, so you can get started risk-free. For this example, we'll select the first option. To get your free domain name, you'll enter the desired domain name for your website into the new domain field and select the domain extension you want, for example, .com, and hit Next. If the domain name isn't available, you'll get an error message and will need to either select an alternate domain name or try to contact the owner of the domain to purchase it from them, or select another top-level domain extension. If you've already purchased your domain name, enter your domain name in the Transfer Domain field and select Next. Remember to review the article on how to change the DNS records to point at Bluehost. To set up your hosting account, enter in the required account information. In the Package Information section, choose your desired hosting term and domain add-on preferences. We recommend selecting Domain Privacy Protection so that the personal information that's associated to your domain isn't publicly available. This is optional, of course. Once you've entered in the required information, add your payment details, review the terms, and select Submit. Once you've done that, you'll be taken to this page here. You would have been sent a confirmation email to the designated email address on the account, as well as a WHOIS verification email. Follow the link in that email to verify the email associated to your new domain. You will need to create a password for your hosting account. To do that, click on Create Your Password. Make sure to pick a secure password. You could use the Suggest Password tool to help you with this. Once you've entered in your password, review the terms of use and select Next. You will then be able to log into your Bluehost dashboard. As part of the new Bluehost offering, WordPress will automatically be installed on your new domain. If you've registered your domain elsewhere, you'll need to amend the DNS records to point at Bluehost and install WordPress using the Bluehost one-click WordPress install. For the steps on how to do this, review our article on the OHKLYN blog. You can follow this link on the tutorial post here. You can choose to install one of the free pre-selected WordPress themes on your domain. However, with WordPress themes, you typically get what you pay for. As premium themes are regularly updated when WordPress changes, they're often more secure. They provide you with access to support, as well as a greater range of design and customization options. So for this tutorial, we'll use a premium WordPress theme and select Skip this step. WordPress will now be installed on your domain. To access the backend of your WordPress website, click Start Building. This will prompt a guided tour, which you can choose to run through or not. We'll go through this in our tutorial, so we'll click on I don't need help. This will take you to the Bluehost tab within the backend of your WordPress website. To access your WordPress dashboard, click on Dashboard in the menu on the left. There will be a number of notifications that you can action or dismiss by clicking on the X in the top right corner. You can amend what's visible on your dashboard by clicking on the Screen Options drop-down in the top right corner and checking or unchecking the boxes. A number of additional plugins will be installed. You can view these by hovering over plugins in the admin menu on the left and selecting Installed Plugins. In addition to the standard WordPress plugins, Bluehost will install a few other plugins like Jetpack, Mojo Marketplace, etc. You can leave these active or choose to deactivate and delete these plugins. We'll leave this up to you. We'll delete ours, as we like to use as few plugins as possible. This can be done in bulk. by selecting the checkbox next to the plugin, choosing Deactivate from the Bulk Actions drop-down, and then clicking Apply. We'll then delete all of the selected plugins by selecting them and hitting Delete. Then return back to the WordPress dashboard. If we enter our domain name into a browser, we'll see that WordPress is now installed. Congratulations! You officially have a new WordPress website. It's not much at the moment, but you're a lot closer than you realize. As part of this process, we'll provide a link to our video on how to set up your free SSL certificate, which will encrypt the data on your site. This is best practice as it improves the security on your site, allows you to take payments on your site, and will improve your Google rankings. Okay, we've covered preparation as well as registering your domain, setting up hosting, and installing WordPress. We can now move on to step number 3, which is the fundamentals of WordPress. Whenever you want to log into your WordPress website, enter your domain and add /wp-admin to the end, such as example.com/wp-admin. Then enter your username and password set up in the prior step. You'll then be taken to your WordPress dashboard. We've installed WordPress in a development environment. It's a clean WordPress install, so it should look the same. However, if it's slightly different, don't worry, the fundamentals will all be the same. We would, however, recommend installing a Coming Soon plugin so you can launch your site properly once you're ready for the world to see it. We'll add a link to a video on how to do this in the description below. For similar videos and tips as you build out your website, subscribe to our YouTube channel and check out the videos section. The WordPress dashboard or admin panel is broken down into 3 main sections. At the top, we have the WordPress toolbar. The menu or admin menu is located on the left-hand side, and the main admin areas in the middle, where we'll do most of our work. We'll give you a brief overview of each section now. However, for a more detailed overview, watch our free How to Use a WordPress tutorial, which is an introduction to WordPress for beginners. This is intended to get you up to speed on the fundamentals of how WordPress works in about an hour. Alright, so the WordPress toolbar at the top is dynamic and adjusts the available options depending on which page you're on, and if you're viewing the page from the front or the back end. The admin menu located to the left of your dashboard is separated into 3 main sections. These are the dashboard section, the content management section, and the site administration section. The dashboard section provides easy access to the dashboard, updates, and additional plugin features. The content management section is where you create and manage posts, pages, media items, comments, and additional plugin features. The site administration section is where you configure the design and appearance settings for your website, including selecting the active theme for your website, creating and managing menus, widgets, and customizing your website's theme. It's also where we manage plugins, users, control global WordPress settings, and activated theme and plugin extensions like SEO, social sharing, theme-specific settings, and security. We'll go through some practical examples for each of these in the coming sections once we upload our theme and start working with content. However, one thing we recommend doing before we move on is updating the permalink structure of your website. This will impact how your URL strings will be created for pages, posts, etc. To do this, hover over Settings in the admin menu. This is where you'll manage your global WordPress settings. We covered these in detail in our How to Use a WordPress tutorial. Then select Permalinks. The default option leverages a more general approach, featuring the date in the permalink. However, the more common option and what we'd recommend from an SEO and UX perspective is post name. So we'll select that option and save our changes. You can learn more about each option under the Help tab and choose the best option for you. We recommend doing this before you start creating content so that your URLs are created the way you want. Also, if you want to update your user profile or add users to your website, you can do this by hovering over users in the admin menu on the left and selecting from the options here. Alright, moving on. The menu is fully responsive, meaning that as the screen size gets smaller, the menu adjusts to remain accessible on all types of devices. Lastly, the main admin area serves as our primary workspace and adjusts depending on what's selected from the admin menu. We'll draw your attention to the Screen Options tab in the top right corner. When you open this tab, you'll see a list of options and features that are available for display depending on which page you're on. Similarly, the Help tab to the right shows you helpful hints for the page that you're on, as well as links to relevant documentation. Once again, for a detailed walkthrough of WordPress, we recommend watching our How to Use WordPress tutorial. Okay, now that we've touched on the fundamentals of WordPress, let's move on to choosing and uploading your WordPress theme. A WordPress theme is a group of files that work with the underlying WordPress software to enhance the design and functionality of your WordPress website. For a more detailed overview, check out our What is a WordPress Theme article on the OHKLYN blog. There are both free and premium themes that you can use for your website. The main benefits of using a premium theme is enhanced security, access to support, the inclusion of more extensive theme documentation or instructions, extended functionality, and access to demo content and pre-built layouts, which for around $50 to $100 is good value. Premium support packages can cost $50 a month, so the fact that this is included in your premium theme makes it a smart investment. On the OHKLYN blog, we've analyzed hundreds, if not thousands, of WordPress themes based on speed, design, ease of use, mobile responsiveness, and functionality, which you can access via the WordPress theme reviews category of the OHKLYN blog. For this tutorial, we'll use one of the top-rated WordPress themes, Divi by Elegant Themes. To access a discount on the Divi theme, follow the Divi discount link in the description below, or if you're following along on the OHKLYN blog, click on this button here. From here, you can either purchase a yearly access to all their themes and plugins, or select their lifetime option, which gives you access to all their themes and plugins for life. We have their lifetime access. However, choose what's right for you. You can always upgrade later on. Once you have chosen your access level, sign up. Enter your personal information, select your payment method, review the terms, and select Complete Registration. Then, log into your Elegant Themes dashboard. Scroll down until you see the Installing Divi box and click Download. This will download a copy of the Divi theme in the form of a .zip file. You will upload the file as is, so there is no need to unzip it. Next, we'll upload the Divi WordPress theme. If you want to install a child theme, you can either use our free child theme generator located under Resources in the OHKLYN menu by following the instructions. Alternatively, you could use a plugin called Child Theme Configurator to help set this up. This is best practice, but not essential. To upload and install your WordPress theme, from your WordPress dashboard, hover over Appearance in the admin menu on the left and select Themes. From here, select Add New. Then click Upload Theme. Select Choose File. Navigate to the zip file we downloaded earlier and select Open. Click Install Now. This will start the process to upload and install the Divi WordPress theme. Once the theme is successfully installed, click Activate, and your new theme will now be live on your website. If we head back to the dashboard, we can now see what our site looks like by clicking on the site name in the toolbar. As you can see, there isn't much going on just yet. Don't worry, in the next section, we'll add in some demo content and show you how to customize your site to get you up and running quickly. The first thing you would want to do when customizing your WordPress website is to set your logo, favicon, and default color palette. These are your 3 most important branding elements and will play the biggest role in uniquely identifying your site to visitors. If you have installed Divi, the easiest way to do this is through the Divi theme option settings within the Divi theme. To access this, from your WordPress dashboard, hover over Divi in the admin menu and click on Theme Options. We are now in the General Settings tab for the Divi theme options. Here, you are able to adjust various settings related to the site-wide look and feel of your website or blog. To the right of all the options, you will find a small question mark icon that will give you more information on the relevant setting when clicked on. To upload your site logo, click on the Upload button. You can now choose the image from your media library or upload a new image to your media library. We will upload this logo here. Once we have done that, it's best practice to set an alt text for an image. This helps search engines understand what the image is, as well as using it as a placeholder should the image not load properly. You can do that here. Then, click Set as Logo. Next up, to upload our favicon, we will click on the Upload button. Then, upload an image or select one from our media library. Set an alt text for the favicon and then click Set as Favicon. There you go. Your logo should now be used instead of the default Divi logo, and your favicon should be displayed in the browser tab. Now, we will set your color picker's default palette. As your brand color will be used all over your site, it will speed things up to add it as a default selection for color pickers going forward. We will use these color pickers to customize your site further later on when we go through the WordPress customizer. For now, select a color. In our case, we will use #0DDADD. This will replace whichever color you have selected from the default list. Let's save our changes at the bottom of the screen. Now that our main branding elements are added, we can move on. We will come back to the other theme settings later on. If you would like more information on using the various theme settings, or the ones we just described, refer to the Using Divi Theme options section of the documentation. Now that we have our main branding elements in place, let's start to fill out our website. Luckily, as this is a one-page website, we'll only need to create one page. A usual website would include a landing page, home page, about page, contact page, services, and blog page. Our site will incorporate most of these pages as sections within our main page. We'll also show you how to populate the page with demo content from the free Divi layout packs. Then set the default homepage for your site, which is the first page visitors will see when landing on your website after entering your domain name in their browser. To create the page from your WordPress dashboard, hover over Pages in the admin menu. You can add a page by clicking on the Add New option, or by navigating to the All Pages and selecting Add New from the top. You can also hover over New in the toolbar and select Page. First of all, give your page a name. We will start off by creating the landing page and enter landing as the title. As you can see, this name will also be used as your URL, since we changed the permalink structure to use the page name. On the right, you can adjust basic page settings. Under Page Attributes, you can add a parent for the page to enforce the site hierarchy and change the permalink structure. As the landing page has no parent page, we'll leave this blank. For more information on the default WordPress options when creating pages, watch our How to Use WordPress for Beginners tutorial. To leverage the Divi Builder to load a layout onto our page, we'll click the Use the Divi Builder button here. That will open up the backend version of the Divi Builder. We will take a closer look at how to use both the back and front-end builder to create and update pages in a later section. For now, to load our layout, click on Load Layout. Under the Pre-made Layouts tab, you will see all the available Divi layouts. In this tutorial, we will use the Divi SEO agency layout. If you click on a layout, you can see all the individual page layouts present within the pack. You can then preview a live demo of the layout before adding it to your page. We're happy with using the landing page layout for our landing page, so we will click on Use this layout. As you can see, the Divi Builder is now populated with a bunch of elements and content. We'll go through managing this content in the later section. For now, you can save this page as a draft. If we preview the page, we can see that all the demo content has been loaded onto the page. Go back and publish it. If you want to upload a layout pack that is not one of the pre-made layout packs within the Divi Builder, we'll now show you how. Hover over Divi in the admin menu and select Divi Library. Click on the Import Export option at the top. Switch over to the Import tab. Then select Choose File. Navigate to the layout.json file you want to import and click on Open. Then hit the Import Divi Layouts button. The progress bar will now show. Give it a moment to finish. Once it's done, the layout will be added to your Divi library and will be available under the Your Saved Layouts tab of the Load Layout window within the Divi Builder. Your All Pages page should look something like this. As you can see, there are quick tools here to edit, trash, or preview your pages. We also recommend creating a separate blog page to house all your blog posts and categories. With the blog page layout for the SEO agency layout pack. Remember to publish the page. We'll create one more page that will be the home page and act as our one-page website. We won't add any content to it for now, as we will create a one-page website on it from scratch, using the Divi Builder in a later section. Publish it. For now, we want to set this landing page as the home page of our website. To do this, hover over Settings in the admin menu and select Reading. Under the Your Home Page Display section, make sure you select the A Static Page option. Open up the Home Page dropdown and select the landing page we just created. Then click Save Changes. If we visit the home page of our website, we'll see that the landing page we created is now the home page of our site. Okay, so now we've created our pages and set the home page for our site. The next step is to create posts that will populate our website's blog. We'll first create the categories under which our blog posts will be organized. To do this, from your WordPress dashboard, hover over Posts and select Categories. To create a new category, simply enter a name for it here. You can also enter a slug, which is just a URL-friendly version of your title. We'll create a category called News. You can enter an optional description if you wish. Then click Add New Category. Here you can see your category created. Let's create another category called Industry News. Because we have another category, we can set this as the parent of our new category. Select News from the dropdown and click Add New Category. As you can see, the new category is created with a line in front of the name to show that it's one level down the category hierarchy. You can also edit, delete, or view the category here. Create a few more categories if you wish. We'll create a keyword research and SEO tips category. Now we can create posts and organize them under our categories. To do this, hover over Posts and select Add New. You can also add new posts from the All Posts page or from the New option in the toolbar. Give your post a title and enter in some content. You can select a category for the post from the right-hand side under Categories. If you want to set a featured image, click on Set Featured Image. Either choose an image from your media library or upload a new image. Give it an alt text and select Set Featured Image. Then save your post as a draft. We can preview your post here. If you're happy with it, go back and publish it. Our blog post will now be live on our blog and show up under the recent posts in the default blog page, unless you set another page as your blog page under the reading settings. We'll skip ahead and create a few more posts to populate our categories. Remember, as we go through this tutorial, to refer to our How to Use WordPress for Beginners tutorial for more information on using WordPress to create categories and pages. Similarly, if you want more information on the Divi theme or Divi Builder, follow the button on the OHKLYN post here for 20+ hours of free video tutorials and documentation. If you haven't done so yet, pause the video and create all the necessary pages, categories, and posts you want for your website. Don't worry about it being perfect, or if you're not sure of the structure of your website just yet, you can figure this out later. Now, we can move on to creating the menus you will use on your website. We'll structure these menus to make it easy to navigate through your one-page website as you continue creating the content. Menus in WordPress are created and managed from the dedicated menus section, which you can access by hovering over Appearance in the admin menu and selecting Menus. On the left-hand side, you have all the available content that you can add to your menus, such as pages, posts, categories, and custom links. You can add or remove options by clicking on Screen Options at the top of the screen and checking or unchecking the relevant options. Here, you can also choose to check the Link Target option, which will set your menu links to open the page in a new tab, and the CSS Classes option, which will allow us to create mega menus by adding a CSS class. Enable both as we will show you how to use them later on. If you're interested in learning some HTML and CSS fundamentals, sign up for one of our courses at courses.ohklyn.com. Back in our menu dashboard, on the right is where you manage your menu structure. We'll need to create the menu first by entering a name for our menu. We'll call it Main Menu and clicking Create Menu. You can choose where you want the menu to be used on your site at the bottom. Divi has 3 default menu locations. The main navigation menu located here, the secondary navigation menu that's located here above the main navigation. This top bar is a handy place to put contact details or a call to action. And the footer navigation menu, located in the footer section at the bottom of your page. We'll set this as our main navigation menu. To add items to your menu, check the boxes next to the items you want to include from the left-hand side. In this case, we don't have many pages to link to like we would have in a normal website. Instead, we will create internal links and point them to different areas of our page using what's called a section ID. We can do this by adding custom links to our menu. These are usually used to link to pages outside of your site, but can also be used to create internal links. Let's go to our landing page. If we scroll down, you'll see a contact section. We can have our link in the navigation menu jump to this section by using what's called an ID. To do this, let's edit our landing page in the back end. Make sure you're using the Divi Builder, then scroll down to the bottom of the page. The blue tab is what's called a section, and as you can see by the contents, it contains all our contact elements. Click on the 3 lines icon in the top corner, then switch to the Advanced tab. In the box where it says CSS ID, type in Contact. This effectively gives this section the unique identification of contact. Then click Save and Exit. Scroll up to the top of the page and update the page. Now go back to the menu page settings and refresh the page. Open up the custom link box and create another custom link called contact. In the URL box, type #contact. Add it to the menu. Save your menu. Go back to your landing page. If you now click on the contact link, we'll be taken to the contact section at the bottom of the screen. Neat, right? That's how you link to internal sections within a page. First, by giving the section a unique ID, and then by creating a link that points to that specific ID. You can add multiple custom links to your menu like this. For example, we'll create another custom link called services with the URL of #services. Add it to the page. Go back to our landing page in the back end. Scroll down to the services section. Click on the 3 lines icon in the top corner. Then switch to the Advanced tab. In the box where it says CSS ID, type in services. Then click Save and Exit. Scroll up to the top of the page and update the page again. Now go back to the menu page settings, save your menu. Go back to your landing page and refresh the page. If we now click on the services link, we'll be taken to the services section here. And if we click the contact link, we'll be taken to the contact section here. You can pause the video and repeat this process to create as many links to sections as you want. We will go through the builder in a later section where you can create your own sections and give them an ID for your links to navigate to. In preparation, we'll create an about and blog link in the same way. As an organizational tool, you can create a link with only a hashtag as the URL. This will refresh the page when clicked. There are certain instances where you would want to do this. To add a custom external link, expand the custom link option, then enter a URL for your link. We'll enter a link to the OHKLYN blog. Add link text, then click Add to Menu. If we check the link target option before, we will have this option to open the link in a new tab. Since this link is going outside of our site, we'll select this option. We'll leave it where it is and save our menu. If you view our site from the front and we click on the OHKLYN link, we'll see it open in a new tab. To make it easier to navigate your blog, if you have one, you can create a drop-down menu for your blog menu item organized by categories. To do this, select the categories from the left-hand side and add them to the menu. Then drag them to fall underneath the blog menu item like this. Let's save the menu and preview it from the front end. As you can see, all our menu items are present. And if we hover over the blog entry, our categories are sitting underneath it in a menu drop-down. If we click on one of these categories, you'll see the page open up on the category page and that the category is populated with its associated posts. The view also allows you to turn your menus into mega menus. Mega menus are great because they allow you to present your information in an efficient and intuitive way. To do this, expand the blog menu item. If you've enabled the CSS option in the Screen Options tab, you'll have the CSS classes option. Type mega-menu in the box. Save your menu. Then navigate back to the front end and refresh the page. If you hover over the blog menu item now, you'll see this nifty mega menu show up. This can be an extremely powerful feature, and you can fine-tune it to look even better. On the OHKLYN post here, we've added a button to the Divi documentation. Follow it and search for the mega menu section. A footer and secondary menu can be created in a similar way to our main navigation menu. The only difference is that you will select the footer or secondary menu option instead of the primary menu option. We'll now move on to the global theme settings, where you can update your site to reflect your brand and design style. Using Divi, on top of everything we've covered so far, there are 3 main ways through which to customize the look and feel of your site. The Divi theme options. This is where we set the logo, favicon, and brand color palette for our site. You can also change default page layouts, control the visibility of global elements, and manage integrations for social media and third-party APIs. The Theme Customizer panel. This is where we'll manage our global styling parameters like colors, fonts, menu styles, etc. And lastly, using widgets located in our sidebar and other widget-enabled areas within our site. Firstly, we will go through the Divi theme options. There are so many options that we can't cover them all in depth in this tutorial. In the description below, and on the OHKLYN post, there will be a link to the Divi theme options documentation and detailed video tutorials, which we would recommend opening up in a new tab in case you want further clarification on anything. Okay, so hopefully we're all on the same page, and we can now run through the Divi theme options. To access the Divi theme options from your WordPress dashboard, hover over Divi and select Theme Options. This is where we set our logo and favicon previously, and we'll now take a look at more of the available settings. Here, you can enable or disable the sticky navigation menu that stays at the top of the page when you scroll down. And here, you can choose whether or not and on which side your sidebar should be displayed. If you want to add a Google map to your website design, you'll need to set up your Google Maps API key and paste it into the field on the General tab of the Divi theme options. Follow the button below and search for Google Map for step-by-step instructions. We've already got our API key, so we can paste it in and save our changes. If you had a contact page with Google Maps, you would see it working like this. Similarly, you can enable the default social media icons on your website here by enabling the options you want on the General tab, and add your social media links below. We find this feature from Divi limiting because of the limited options available without needing to amend the base code. We prefer to disable these and instead import Font Awesome, which enables us to add any social icon to our website and add the links anywhere on our site. On the OHKLYN post here, you can click on this button for a detailed explanation on how to use this by Divi. Below the social media settings, you can see a number of fields that control how many blog posts are displayed on certain pages. At the bottom, you can add custom CSS. Okay, let's look at some of the other tabs. Next up is the Navigation tab. You can change the visibility settings for most of your pages, posts, and categories in your website's navigation menu here. Then we have the Builder tab. The Divi Builder was recently upgraded to move away from adding what's referred to as inline CSS into your web pages when you make customizations to your page. This is huge, as many drag and drop builders add inline CSS, and if you know anything about web design best practices, inline CSS is a major rookie move. In this tab, you have a few options that relate to how the CSS is generated on your site, which we wouldn't recommend changing, as well as the ability to turn off the product tour feature. In the Layout tab, you can control the look and visibility of elements included on individual posts and pages. As the name suggests, the Ads tab allows you to integrate ads on your posts. An SEO tab. We prefer to use the Yoast SEO plugin to optimize the on-page elements of our website. However, you have control over some of these elements here. Integrations. Here you can add your Facebook pixel, Google Analytics, code or any additional code to your website. Lastly, we have updates. Here you add your Elegant Themes username and API key to enable Divi theme updates from within your WordPress dashboard, as Divi improves and evolves. Okay, so that's an overview of the fundamentals everyone should know about the Divi theme settings. Remember to save your changes if you've made any. Review the help or question mark icon next to each option for further definitions, or follow the link below to the Divi documentation and search for Divi theme options for a more detailed overview of each element. Before we take a look at the theme customizer, which allows you to set global fonts, colors, and other styling attributes on your site, let's quickly explore widgets. If you're new to WordPress, we would recommend reviewing the documentation to get your head around widgets and widget-enabled areas, as they are a powerful feature. Widgets are managed in their own dedicated section, which you can access by hovering over Appearance in the admin menu on the left-hand side and selecting Widgets. On the left, you have all the available widgets, and on the right are the widget-enabled areas. Divi has the sidebar widget area, which appears on individual posts, archive pages, etc., as well as 4 footer widget areas that you can use depending on which footer layout option you chose in the theme customizer, which we'll cover off next. By default, there may be some widgets added to your sidebar already. Depending on the layout you're using, this may or may not be displayed. However, this can very easily be added. If we take a look at one of our individual post pages, you'll see the sidebar here on the right. All of the content and elements you see here are widgets added to the sidebar. To add a widget to the sidebar or any widget-enabled area, let's head back to our widget dashboard. Then simply click on a widget on the left. Select the widget-enabled area you want to add the widget to, and select Add Widget. Once the widget has been added, you can drag it into place. Click on the widget to amend its settings. Once you've updated the widget, hit Save. If we head over to our post page once again, you'll see the widget we added to the sidebar here. To delete the widget, if we head back to our widget dashboard, simply click on the widget, then select Delete. Pro tip: search for the Divi sidebar module from the Divi documentation section. This guide will show you how to use the sidebar module, which will be implemented on a number of the blog pages for the layout pages included in the free Divi layouts. Okay, so we've covered theme options and had a quick look at using widgets. Now, we'll take a look at using the WordPress theme customizer. The theme customizer is where you'll have full control over the global styling options for your website. To access the theme customizer, go to your website dashboard. Hover over Appearance and select Customize. You could also hover over Divi and select Theme Customizer. On the left is the customization panel, and on the right is a live preview of your website. One thing to note before we get started is that the module settings for the layouts and elements on each page will override the global settings that are set via the theme customizer. This is handy as you can set global styling here and then uniquely style individual pages without affecting the overall look and feel of your website. To show you what we mean, if we right click on the main heading and select Inspect, you'll see that the font family used is Poppins. If we go to the General Settings tab of the customizer, then to Typography, scroll down to the Header Font option and open the drop-down, select Railway, then hit Publish, you'll see that nothing changes. This is because the font is set at the module level, which overrides the customizer settings for a specific page. To see this in action, edit the home page in the back end. In the next section, we'll go through using both the Divi front end and back end builder. For now, just click on the Edit Settings icon for the Hero section title module, which is this grey box here. Then switch over to the Design tab. Scroll down to the Heading Text section. Reset the title font and wait to the default setting. You can do that by clicking the small circular arrow icon to the right. When set to default, it will use the settings present in the customizer. Hit Save and Exit. Then update the page. View it from the front end. As you can see, the font has now changed. If you right-click and inspect the font, we'll see that it's now using Railway via our theme customizer settings. So why did we show you this? If you have a large site with many pages, setting them to use default settings can save you a lot of time, as you only need to make changes in the customizer to update your entire site style. If you want the page to look different somehow, you can just change the styling for that individual page. We would typically create a child theme where we set the styles using an external style sheet. However, setting these via the theme customizer is the next best option and more beginner friendly. Okay, so let's get to the customizer styling options. We can't cover all the settings here. However, we will take you through the most important ones like how to choose the header navigation style, set accent colors, and configure the footer for your website. For a detailed overview of each setting, on the OHKLYN post here, click on the button that will take you to the Divi documentation and scroll down to the Customizing Divi section. Here, you can access the newest and most relevant information on the customization settings. The first thing we'll take a look at is the general settings. Under the Site Identity tab is where you can add a site title and tagline for your website. If you haven't uploaded your favicon via the Divi theme options, you could also upload it here. Next is the layout settings. Here, you can enable a boxed layout, adjust the default content widths and heights for your site, as well as set your website's default accent color. For this example, we'll set ours to #0DDADD by clicking on the color picker. Because we added our band color to the color palette earlier, we can easily select it from the preloaded options. Whenever you make any changes, remember to publish changes by clicking on Publish at the top. If we go back, the next option is Typography. Here, we can set our default header and body fonts. You can choose from a number of free web fonts and a number of Google fonts. In this case, we'll set ours to Railway for both the header and the body. Below that, you can set your body link color, which will set to our brand color. Then, there's the default header text color and body text color, which we'll leave as is, but you could set this to suit your own design. Remember, if you choose a layout from the library where the fonts are set at the module level, these will be overwritten. To ensure the font you set here is used throughout your site, you'll need to reset the font option for the specific module via the Divi Builder, which we'll cover next. Okay, let's go back. The last option for this section is the background settings. Here, you can set a default background color for your website or upload an image or texture. Let's move on to the next group of settings, which are the header and navigation settings. Here, we can set a header format by selecting a header style. This includes the default option where you can enable the vertical navigation option or opt to hide the navigation until scroll. There is also the centered logo option, centered inline logo option, slide in option, or the full screen overlay option. The primary menu bar options allow you to control the height, width, and colors of your main navigation bar, as well as the size of your logo. Depending on which header style you go with, you'll either have access to the secondary menu bar settings or the slide in and full width header settings. These will look similar to the settings in the primary menu and allow you to further customize your website. Next is the fixed navigation settings, which refer to the sticky menu or the menu that sticks to the top of the browser when the user scrolls down the page. Like this. You can amend the fixed or sticky header options by following the same process. You'll notice that the options are very similar to the settings we went through in the primary navigation panel. Lastly is the Header Elements tab. Here, you can enable or disable the social icons if you've populated these via the Divi theme options. And the search icon. You can also choose to show a phone number or email, which will enable the secondary menu and feature this information above the primary menu. Next up is the Footer tab, where you can set styling options for the footer section here. Under the Footer Options tab, you can set the global footer for your website. This requires choosing a column layout under the Layouts option and using the footer widget enabled areas that we covered before to populate your footer with content. This can be a little tricky for beginners, and as such we would recommend using one of the pre-designed footer layout packs, which you can access by clicking on this button on the OHKLYN post. There will also be a video that shows you how to use any of these designs, as well as set them as global sections to use on all your website pages. To update the bottom bar of your website, from within the footer options, navigate to the bottom bar tab. Here you can amend the background color, text color, etc. To amend the text, click on the Edit Footer Credits box and type in the information you want here. We'll do this by adding some copyright text. We can add a copyright symbol in HTML by typing ampersand, copy, semicolon. Then you can add whatever text you'd like. We'll add our brand name, triangle, a pipe character, and then all rights reserved. You can also easily show or hide the social media icons here by navigating to Footer, Footer Elements, and then check or uncheck the social sharing icons box. From the customizer, you can also customize the default button styles, amend blog header and meta text styles, and adjust default sizing options for mobile displays. The best way to get up to speed with all the available options is to have a play around and see what works best for your design. Reviewing the Divi documentation and video guides for this section is also a great way to explore your options further. Always remember to publish your changes. To exit the customizer, click on the X icon in the top left corner. Now, let's get some hands-on experience with Divi's best feature, the Divi Builder. It's elegant theme's custom-made drag-and-drop page builder and undoubtedly one of the best around. Period. To take you through the Divi Builder, we'll create this page here. If it looks intimidating, don't worry. You'll see how easy it really is and we'll guide you every step of the way. The Divi Builder consists of both a back-end editor that we prefer working with and a front-end editor where you can view your changes live as you make them. To access the Divi Builder, from your WordPress dashboard, hover over Pages and select All Pages. Choose the landing page we just created. There should already be preloaded content from the layouts we imported earlier. The best way to visualize a web page's content is in terms of rows and columns. You can see that in action here. The blue areas are what's called sections, and you can think of these as breaking your pages into logical blocks of associated information. Within them, colored green, we have the rows. You can have multiple rows underneath each other within a section. Each row can have its own column structure. Within these columns are the individual modules that make up the content of your page, such as text blocks, blurbs, visual elements, etc. If we view our page in a new tab, you can see the same modules here that's in our backend builder. At the top, we have a hero text section with a contact form on the right, which we can see here in the back end. Then we have a section with all the services, made up of a title, subtitle, and 6 blurbs, each consisting of an image and short text split over 2 rows and 3 columns. If you remember back to our intro on UX design, you should be able to see how you can translate your page sketches into something similar to this. Okay, so let's start with the basics. You can duplicate sections, rows, and modules by clicking this icon here. You can then click and drag them around to change the order. To delete a section, row, or module, simply click the X icon here. You can change the column structure of a row by clicking on this icon. Then, pick whichever layout you like from the options. You can always undo or redo your changes here. To add a module, simply click on the Insert Module link within the column. Then pick one from the available options. You can access a detailed overview of each module by following the link to the Divi documentation and navigating to the Modules section. You can also add modules, rows, or entire sections to the Divi library to use again later. For example, let's open up this section with the annual report here. Then click Save to Library. Give it a name. We'll name it Section Annual Report. We can then opt to make it a global section. A global section can be added to multiple pages throughout your site. If you make an update to one of them, all of them will be updated. Click Save and Add to Library to save the section. If we want to add it to another part of the page, all we need to do is click the Add from Library link. Switch to the Add from Library tab. You'll now see your section here. You can then select it and add it like any other section. Let's delete this for now and scroll back to the top. The first thing you would probably want to do is to change the heading to suit your website. To do this, click on the Edit Settings icon for the Hero section title. Then change the title to Your One-Stop SEO Solution Provider. You can also change the subtitle here. In the Design tab, we can change the styling options for the text, heading text, sizing, etc. You can also set these to default settings by clicking this icon here. A fantastic feature is the ability to change the settings for different screen sizes by clicking on the mobile icon and switching through the tabs. As Divi is constantly improving and updating the builder, you should refer to the documentation's module settings section as you go through using it, as it will have the most up-to-date information. Okay, now for the really fun part. It's time to show you the front-end Divi builder. First, update your page. You can either click the Use Visual Builder button here or view your page from the front end and then enable the Visual Builder here. If we hover over the section at the top, you'll notice the same structural elements as we found in the back end. The blue section here indicates a section and the settings for it can be accessed here in the tab on the top left. If we click the settings option, you'll see a very familiar interface. The difference is that your changes can be seen in real time on your screen. We can also close this dialog and edit the text directly simply by clicking on it and start typing. If we scroll down, we'll see all the other sections that were in our backend builder. To save changes, click on the purple icon at the bottom and hit save. Just like the backend builder, Divi is constantly evolving, so to ensure you always have access to the latest information, follow the link to the Divi Builder tutorial on the OHKLYN post here. We recommend pausing the video and watching the Get Started with the Divi Builder tutorial by Elegant Themes. What we'll do now is create this example page using a combination of the backend and frontend Divi Builder. You can use this experience to create any other page you wish. Head back to your WordPress dashboard, hover over Pages in the admin menu and select All Pages. Select the home page. Before we start, let's take a look at a mock-up we created for this page. As you can see, the first thing we will need to do is create this hero section with a heading and 2 buttons. A cool feature of the Divi theme for one-page websites is dot navigation. This will create a line of dots on the right side of the page to navigate to different sections of the page. The Divi Builder will automatically create a dot for each section. To enable this, back in the Edit page, in the top right corner, in the Divi Page Settings box, switch to the dot navigation on. In the Divi Builder, you'll see that there is a default section created. We will ignore this for now and create our own full width section by clicking the full width section link and dragging it into place at the top of the page. First, we'll add a full width header module by clicking on Insert Module and selecting a full width header module. The Edit Settings window will automatically open up. In the title, we'll type Triangle SEO. Type in whatever title suits you. Then, in the subheading text, type Tailor-made SEO solutions for your business, or whatever else. Scroll down to the two button fields. In the first one, we can just type About Us, and in the second one, type Get in Touch. We'll link the first to an About Me section on this page and the second to a contact form. To do this, scroll down to the link section. Set the button 1 URL to #about and set the button 2 URL to #contact. At the background section, we can add a color, gradient, image or video as the background of the section. In our example, we will add a background image with an overlay to make sure the buttons really pop out. To do this, click on the image button here, then on the plus icon. Our media library will open up. We can now choose an image from the library or upload one. We'll choose this image here. For SEO purposes, it's beneficial to use an alt text that aligns with your SEO keywords. So we'll give this an alt text of build a website -hero image. Then select set as background. We've provided a link to this specific image on the OHKLYN post here and in the description below, which will take you to this page here. If you click on download a preview, you'll be able to use this image with a watermark to try it out. We use Shutterstock for a lot of our images, and we love this feature because it allows you to trial images before purchasing them. Okay, now click on the background color tab. Here we can choose a color to overlay on our image, or you can add a gradient on the next tab. We'll select black for our background color and set the opacity to about 10%. This will allow our white text to stand out more without losing too much of our image. To ensure the color is used as an overlay on our image, we'll go back to the Image tab and scroll down to the Background Image Blend option. There will be a number of options in the drop-down. We'll select the Overlay option. Switch to the Design tab. The first thing we'll do is give our content a nice central alignment by setting the text and logo orientation to center. Then enable the Make Full Screen option. This will make the header use up the entire area of the screen above the fold, which is everything the user sees when loading the page. On top of looking good, it eliminates the need to mess with spacing or padding. If you scroll down, you'll see the title text and content text sections. Depending on how you set up your global styling, you can either change the text styling in the theme customizer or here at the module level. As this tutorial is tailored to beginners, we'll do it in here to show you how the responsive styling works. Let's go back up to our title text. As you can see, there are options for H1 to H6. This is a shorthand for heading, and these represent the 6 heading levels available in HTML. You should think of these headings in terms of content hierarchy and web design, not for styling purposes. Headings even tell search engines about the structure of your content. As such, a page should only have one H1 heading and the use of the other headings should follow the hierarchy down. In other words, H2 headings directly underneath H1 headings and H3 headings directly underneath H2 headings, etc. Luckily, it's easy to style individual headings. Select the H1 heading, then set the title font weight to bold. Remember, these are just suggestions and you can select whatever settings you like. You can also set these in your theme customizer and then set these to default using the icons here. Scroll down to the title text color. Open the color picker and set it to #FFF. Right below that, set the title text to 70 pixels. As you see, the mobile icon will pop up and if you click on it, you can set the sizes for different screen options by switching the tabs to tablet or mobile. We'll set the tablet size to 50px and the mobile size to 24px. This will ensure that when we resize our page later on, it will still look great. To make the text a bit more readable, we'll adjust the letter spacing to 2 pixels and the line height to 1.3 em. Scroll down to the body text settings and change the content font to Railway. Then scroll down to the subhead text section and also change the font to Railway. Change the font size to 33 pixels. For tablet, change it to 24 pixels and for mobile to 16. Scroll down to the button 1 and button 2 toggles. We're not sure why the button 2 settings are first. If it's changed by the time you see this, just stick with the button 2 settings. Enable the Use Custom Styles for button 2 option. This will open customization settings for the button. The first thing we will do is set the text size to 18. Open the button 2 text color picker and change the color to #FFFFFF or white. Leave the background color option blank as we want it to be transparent. Set the button 2 border width to 3 pixels and set the color to white. Then we'll set the border radius to 3 pixels. The border radius changes the rounding at the corners, with 0 being a 90-degree corner and a higher number rounding it even more. Set the font weight to ultra bold. Scroll down and disable the Show Button 2 icon. Then set the hover text color to white. Whenever you see hover, this means while the mouse pointer is over an element. So this setting changes how the button looks when we hover over it. We'll set the button to hover background color to our brand color of #0DDADD. Similarly, we'll also set the button to hover border color to our brand color. Then we will change the button to hover border radius to 3 pixels. Now we'll scroll down to button 1 and enable the custom styles for button 1. Set the text size to 18. Then we'll change the background color to our brand color of #0DDADD. Set the border width to 3 pixels. Then change the color of the border to our brand color. The border radius should also be 3 pixels. Set the font weight to ultra bold. Switch off the Show Button 1 icon. We'll set the button 1 hover text color to our brand color. Then set the button 1 hover background color to white. Similarly, the button 1 hover radius should also be white. Make the button 1 hover border radius 3. The last thing we will do is add some custom CSS to our buttons to add a little space around the content of our buttons to give it some breathing room. To do this, switch over to the Advanced tab. Then scroll down to the button 1 box. Type in padding, 10 pixels, space 30 pixels, semicolon. This applies 10 pixels of padding to the top and bottom of our button's text and 30 pixels to the left and right. Now, if you've taken our CSS or WordPress course, which you can sign up for at courses.OHKLYN.com, you'll know that what we are about to do is not best practice. Because the Divi styles at the time of recording this applies the important rule, the only way for us to overwrite this is to apply the important rule to this declaration to make sure the padding is applied. If this all sounds like gibberish to you, don't worry. All we need to do is add exclamation mark important to the CSS declaration before the closing semicolon. Copy and paste this code into the button 2 box as well. Then select Save and Exit. Now that we have our hero section completed, let's preview our page from the top right hand corner. So far, so good. If we hover over the buttons, we can see how they change because of the hover styling we applied. Let's head back to the backend and update the page. If we refer back to our example page, we can see that the next section we want to create is the services section, with the title, subtitle, and 6 services blurbs. We'll create this part in the front-end builder. We already have the default section here below our hero section. If we hover over it, we'll see the settings pop up for our row in green. We first want to give our services section an ID so that our links to it will work. Open the section settings here. Then head over to the Advanced tab. Expand the CSS ID and classes box. In the CSS ID field, we can set the section ID that we use to link to in our button and menu. If you recall, we linked to #services, so we will make this CSS ID services. Then save the section. We first want a single column row for our title and subtitle, which we can set by clicking this Change Column Structure icon. When we select a single column structure, an Insert Module window will pop up. Scroll down and select the Text module. You will see this familiar window pop up with almost the exact same options to edit the modules. To make it a bit easier to use, we will expand it by dragging the corner here. In the content editor, we will first add a line of text that will be our header, for example, our services. Highlight the text and set it to a level 2 heading here. Then we will add some other text. Switch over to the Design tab. Expand the text section. And near the bottom, set the text orientation to center. Save and exit the module. Next up, we want to showcase 6 of our services. The most efficient way to do this is by using a blurb. Blurbs are a great way to showcase some of your features, services, or outstanding characteristics. To do this, we'll add another row with a 3-column structure. An insert module will immediately pop up. We want to add blurbs consisting of an icon, a heading, and a small piece of text. So click on the blurb icon. In the title, add Search Engine Optimization. And in the text field, type a short piece of text. Expand the Image and Icon tab. Enable the Use Icon toggle. For this blurb, we'll select the search icon. You'll be able to see your icon added to the blurb. Switch over to the Design tab. Under Image and Icon, make sure our brand color is selected. If you want, you can add a circle around the icon and style it. We'll just leave it as is. We'll just enable the Use Icon Font Size option, which will allow us to size our icon. Let's set ours to 40 pixels. Expand the Text tab. The only things we will change here is to center align our text. Then save the blurb. Here you can see we have a complete blurb with an icon, heading, and short text. We can take a shortcut to create our other blurbs by simply duplicating this one twice. Then drag the blurbs across and let them fall in the other 2 columns. We can now edit the second blurb. The only thing we will change is the actual contents. We'll make this one's title Content Optimization and add a short piece of text. Go to the Image and Icon section. Look for the chart icon and select it. Save your changes. You can create another row by simply duplicating this one. We'll skip ahead and add our content to the other 4 blurbs. You can enter whatever info you'd like. Pause the video and complete your blurbs. If you refer back to our finished page, we see that we want to add an About section next. This will consist of a short piece of text on the left and an image or video on the right. So, to do this, we will first add a normal section by hovering over the blue plus icon and clicking it. Then select a regular section. Select the 2-column structure from the row pop-up. We want to add a text module, so scroll down until the text module and select it. We have already prepared some text, however, you can just add in anything relevant to you. We'll paste it into the text tab here. We can add our text and then add our own HTML markup. The reason we use this tab to paste our text is to avoid bringing in any markup or formatting from a Word, Docs, etc. You can now safely style your text from the Visual tab, which is what we'll do. We want Welcome to Triangle to be our heading, so we'll highlight this text and select Heading 2 from this drop-down. Then Save Changes. Now we want to add a brand accent above our text module. To show you what we mean, let's look at our final product. We're referring to this accent here. Back in the Visual Builder, hover over the text module and click on the gray circle icon with the plus. Scroll down to the divider module and add it. In the Visibility tab, we'll select Yes to show the divider. Then switch over to the Design tab. We'll set the color to our brand color. Under Sizing, set the divider width of 2 pixels and select a width of 80 pixels. we'll set the module alignment to left, then hit save. Right now it's down here, so hover over the divider and drag it to sit above the text module. Okay, that's looking good. Remember to periodically save your changes as you go along. We'll also add a CTA button under the text. To do this, add a button module by clicking on the grey plus icon. Make the title Contact Us. Expand the link section and type in #contact as the link, as this is where we want it to take us. Switch over to the Design tab. Expand the button section. Enable custom styles. Set the text size to 18 and the text color to our brand color. Then change the border color to our brand color as well. Disable the show icon toggle. For a hover effect, we will change the button hover text color to white and the hover background color to our brand color. Then save the button. To finish off this section, we need to add a video on the right. To do this, hover over the plus icon and look for the video module. Add it in. Depending on your version of Divi, the video might be pre-populated with this link to a video about Divi. We'll delete it using this icon here. You can add a link to a video from a video site like YouTube and Vimeo, upload a video, or add the embed code from a site like Wistia. We'll add a link to one of our YouTube tutorials featuring another one of our favorite themes, Ultra by Themify. If you subscribe to our newsletter, you will also receive a discount for the Ultra theme. Click on the Add Video link. This Choose a Video MP4 file box will open. Here, you can either upload a video or add one from your media library. We'll switch over to the Insert from URL tab on the left-hand side. Then, we'll paste in the link to our video and select Insert into Post. That's how easy it is to add a video to your web page. You could just as easily use an image if you don't have a video to link to. That's looking good, but we want to add a bit more space to the top so that the video appears more centered. This space is referred to as padding. To do this, open the module settings for the video. Under the Design tab, open the Spacing section and add 5% of padding to the top field. Then, hit Save. See, that already looks much better. We'll quickly show you how to add more padding to rows. One way to do this is to hover over the top of the row until a faint green bar appears. You can click and drag this to increase or decrease the padding. However, this adds the padding in pixels. We prefer to use percentages as it's more responsive to different screen sizes. To do this, open up the row settings here. Then, go over to the Design tab. Scroll down to the padding section and expand it. In here, you'll see a number of different padding options. We'll clear the existing values and then add 5% of padding to the top and bottom. Save the row. The last thing we will do is give the section the CSS ID to link to. Open the section settings once again, then switch over to the Advanced tab. In the CSS ID field, we will type About. Great, now we can move on to the next section. Let's have another look at our finished page. As you can see, the next thing is a section where we link to some of our blog posts. So, let's head back to the Divi Builder. Let's add another section below our About section. Choose the one column row structure. Add in a text module to serve as our heading for the section. Type in our blog. Then add some more text below it. We'll set this to a heading 2. Go over to the Design tab. Open up the text settings and set the text orientation to center. Save the module. Add in another one column row below it. From the modules, pick the blog module. We only want to display 4 posts at a time, so set that as the post number. You can also restrict your posts to certain categories. For example, you could make this a news-only blog section. We'll select all our categories. Leave the content as Show Excerpt. This will only show a part of your post, as opposed to the full text. Under Elements, enable Show Read More. This will add a Read More button to each post. In the Design tab, open the Layout section and set the layout to Grid. In the Text section, set the text orientation to center. Under border, set the rounded corners to 3 pixels and the border color to our brand color. Lastly, you can add a drop shadow if you wish. Then save the blog module. Lastly, for this section, we'll add a button. Make the title Visit Our Blog. Set the URL to /blog. This will link it to our blog page. This is what we call an internal link. As this is on the same website, we don't need the full URL with the HTTP or HTTPS part. Switch over to the Design tab. Under Alignment, let's center align our button. Expand the button section. Enable custom styles. Set the text size to 18 and the text color to our brand color. Then change the border color to our brand color as well. Disable the show icon toggle. For a hover effect, we will change the button hover text color to white and the hover background color to our brand color. Then save the button. Open up the section settings. Switch to the Advanced tab. Then give the section a CSS ID of blog. Now we can link to our blog section as well. Okay, we can now move on to the final section of our page, the contact section. If we go back to our finished page, you'll see that it consists of some text on the left and a contact form on the right. Back in the Divi Builder, we'll add another section at the bottom of the page. Choose a 2-column structure. In the first column, add a text module. Add a heading and some other text. We will make our heading "We want to hear from you." Go to the Design tab. In the text section, change the color to white. Then, in the heading text section, switch over to the H2 settings and set the color to white as well. Don't worry that our text isn't visible. We'll add a background color and image to the section in a bit. Save the module. In the column to the right, we'll add a module by clicking the icon and selecting the Contact For module. As you can see, there will already be a few pre-populated fields for you. You can style each field on its own by clicking this icon here. That will open up the settings for that field. This is the email field and as such has a unique ID called email and the title email address. If you expand the field options, you will see that its type has been set to email. This will ensure that the user can only enter a valid email format into the field. If you make it required, they will also be required to enter an email before they can submit the form. You can add further conditional logic here that can further control when a form can be submitted or not. If you want to learn more, we recommend referring to the Divi documentation and searching for the Contact Form module. Here you can access a free video tutorial that will walk you through the settings. We'll go back and add one more field to the contact form. We'll give it an ID of company_name and a title of company name. Under field options, we'll just ensure it's an input field. We won't make it required as not everyone is from a company. You can style individual fields in the respective design tabs. However, we recommend styling them in the Contact Form module settings so that they all look consistent. That's what we'll do now. So we'll go back. In the title, we'll type, "Tell us what you need." Then add a success message that will display after the form has been submitted successfully. For example, "Thank you, we will be in touch shortly." You can also change the text of the submit button if you want. Under elements, you can choose whether to enable the CAPTCHA or not to protect you from spam attacks. In the Design tab, open up the title text section and set the color to white. Open up the form field text section. Change the background color to white. You can then style the form field text, that's the text that displays as a placeholder within the form fields, before the user enters any info. We'll just make the size 16. Open the button. We'll style it to be consistent with the other buttons on the page. Enable custom styles. Set the text size to 18 and the text color to our brand color. And the background color to white. Then change the border color to our brand color as well. Disable the show icon toggle. Change the button hover text color to white and the hover background color to our brand color. We'll also round out the corners of our fields a bit. Open the border section and set the rounding to 3 pixels. Under box shadow, we'll also enable this drop shadow. Save our form. Okay, so that's our contact form. To make this bottom section stand out, we'll add a background image and a gradient. To do that, open the section settings. Scroll down to the background section and open it. In the image tab, choose an image to upload. We will use this one where 2 people are shaking hands. Then switch to the gradient tab. Click Add Background Gradient. Scroll down and enable the toggle to place the gradient on top of the image. For our secondary gradient color, we will use our brand color. Then choose a primary color that goes well with it. We will just use this nice dark blue here. Adjust the opacity for both colors until it looks good. We will do around 80% for the primary color and 50% for the secondary. Before we save, switch over to the Advanced tab. In the CSS ID field, we will give the section the ID of Contact. Finally, save the section. That looks pretty good. We have now completed our page that will serve as our one-page website. Remember to save the page once you're happy. Then publish it if you're ready for it to go live. If we view the page from the front end, we'll see that we can now navigate between the sections thanks to the CSS IDs and internal links in our menu. We can also navigate using this right-hand dot navigation thanks to Divi. We also have a number of buttons that link to our contact section at the bottom of the page. Hopefully this is what your visitors will end up doing. Let's quickly fill in the form. As you can see, if we skip a required field, get the captcha wrong, or don't enter a valid email, the form won't submit, and we will be shown what we need to do to fix it. If we fill in all fields correctly, the form will submit and we will receive a success message. And that's how you create the page from scratch using the Divi Builder. If we're happy, we can go back to the backend and publish our page. Remember to refer to the Divi documentation on either the builder itself or other relevant sections if you get stuck or want to learn more. Lastly, don't forget to change this as your default home page within your reading settings. Once you've got your website looking the way you want and you're ready to launch, there's a few best practices that you should follow to ensure you get the best results. If you want your website to be searchable via search engines like Google, the first thing is to ensure that your WordPress settings aren't blocking search engines from indexing your website. To check this, from your WordPress dashboard, hover over Settings in the Admin menu panel and select Reading. Scroll down to the bottom to the Search Engine Visibility section. Ensure the box is unchecked so that Google can crawl and index your website. Keep this box checked while you're still working on your site, but uncheck it once you're ready to go live. Remember to save your changes. Then you will need to index your blog. To learn how to do this, we've added a link to our video on the OHKLYN post here. In this video, we'll show you the step-by-step process of how to add your blog to Google search and index your website. Similarly, if you want to monitor traffic and user behavior on your blog, then you will want to install Google Analytics. Yes, we've created another video on how to add Google Analytics to your blog. You can find the link on the OHKLYN post. If you like this video, hit the like button and remember to subscribe to our YouTube channel for more videos related to WordPress, digital marketing, and how to run a successful site. Your feedback is appreciated, so please leave a comment below and tell us what you liked, or if there was anything you found difficult, so that we can put together additional videos to help support you as you build out your website. To get access to exclusive discounts, free tutorials, and to stay in the loop on the latest updates, sign up to our newsletter at OHKLYN.com. And until next time, happy building!